Yo guys, it's Massive Michael, and I just want to give you all a quick notice before the video starts that this video contains strong language, so yeah, with the warning out the way, let's get to the video. So I'm going to make a rant about Dominic Cummings and the decision from Boris Johnson to save him, which I think was completely unacceptable. And I know I am a bit late, but better late than never. And yeah, I just want to do a few days, so at least all of you know what I'm on about, unless you have been living a bit under a fucking rock. So as you may know, the rules are, although they have, yes, they are relaxing, but still, the rules are still probably don't go too far from your house. Guess how far Dominic Cummings drove? He drove 260 miles to Durham, to Barnard Castle. So 500-mile round trip that is, which is obscene. And he apparently drove around Durham to test his eyesight when he was showing symptoms of COVID-19, right? And what? Like, he said he's going to drive around there to test his eyesight. First off, you don't lose your eyesight with COVID-19, and I'm saying that as somebody who has had it myself. You do. Some people like me. I lost my voice, but I didn't lose my eyesight. But still, it's just ridiculous. If he wants to test his eyesight by driving, drive around your fucking neighbourhood. You just have to drive 5 minutes. But yeah, according to one little simp in the government, apparently that makes far too much sense. But oh no, in his mind, his priorities are upside down. So yeah, that's crazy talk for him. Just fucking stupid. So he's going to test his eyesight. But I think he's just trying to play the public for fools, basically. With Dominic Cummings, we know you're bullshitting us. Cut the bullshit now. You could have just said sorry and we wouldn't have had to go through this shit. But no, you just couldn't do it, could you? You just couldn't do it. You fucking lying cunt. And you should have... I know Specsavers is closed, but there are some that are open. I'm sure he drove past at least 10 of them that are open on the way to Durham. Which is, again, obscene. How he doesn't, like, the eye testing place. Oh no, I don't want to, because I don't want to get my eye testing results as bad. Going halfway across England to go to Durham, when you're showing symptoms and could spread the virus to hundreds of people. Oh yeah, that sounds great, yeah, I love that. That sounds, oh shut the fuck up, you little cunt. You mother's cunt, you fucking doodle shit. And it's basically an insult to the public's intelligence and an insult to the rules. And little does Boris Johnson know, because of how stupid he is, it's an insult to him. Because he's saving Dominic Cummings for completely infringing and flouting the rules, which he single-handedly set. Boris Johnson, I didn't set the rules. Your relative didn't set the rules. Your fellow parliamentarians, again, did not set the rules. You set them all on your own. Only you set them. And so all the blame has to go to you, I'm afraid. So it's just complete hypocrisy, sorry. Because we should either have rules for everyone. It's black and white, right? We should either nobody goes more than 5 miles, right? Nobody goes that far. And then it's another rule for Dominic Cummings, apparently, because he sounds pretty special. So it's one rule for us, right, to not do a bunch of shit, but it's another rule for him. That's just unacceptable. And Mum's like, well, it's Boris's decision. Yeah, I know it's Boris's decision, but that doesn't make it the right decision, does it? And I, as a YouTuber and as a person who has a brain unlike Boris Johnson, yeah, I should call him Brain Dead Boris. That would be a good name. Yeah, Brain Dead Boris. Because unlike brain dead Boris, I have a fucking brain that works. And I can tell that he's breaking the rules. And that is hypocrisy. And yes, so if any other normal person, or most people, I reckon 90+% of the people who are much lower power positions than Dominic Cummings can obey the rules perfectly fine. Even all the other people in Parliament can obey the rules. If pretty much everyone else can do it, guess who else can follow the rules? You guessed it, Dominic Cummings. He can follow the rules too. And plus, he's much older than a lot of people like me who have sort of, in a way, bended the rules. But I'm not in the limelight like he is. And plus, I only walked a few hundred metres. I didn't walk fucking 200 miles. It's just so annoying. And then he says, saying 260-mile trip was the right thing. Apparently it was to save his son to some shit. Like, we don't give a fuck about your son, Dominic Cummings. After all, people say your safety matters more. And you shouldn't travel halfway across the goddamn country when you're showing symptoms. Do you know how many people you could have infected if you had it? After all, this virus is extremely contagious. Which is why we need to be taking it so seriously. Which I didn't know back when I had it, but now I do. And we've had more time. You are a person in Parliament who supposedly set or helped Boris Johnson set the rules as his top advisor. And since Boris saved you, he must think you're a great advisor. But since he's so brain dead, you're probably crap. And to the public, at least, you are a shit advisor for doing something that's completely against the rules. You're a very bad advisor. But probably Boris calls you a good advisor, because he's so stupid. And his priorities are, again, upside down. He relies on shit that doesn't need attention, but he does rely on shit that does not. It's just completely, utterly stupid. I'll give an example, right? He made us do a lockdown, right? The lockdown was not needed. We just panicked into doing it. It was the right decision to close schools and all mass gatherings. And I hate schools, that's another reason why. P.S. But yeah, it was the right decision to close schools and sort of workplaces with mass gatherings. That was the right decision. I'll give you that. But it was not the right decision to lock down the whole country, because a lot of businesses are losing money. They're having to sack their workers because of this fucking thing. And people say health is more important, or life's more important than money. Well, guess what? People need fucking money to live. You fucking cretins. And you fucking simps on the internet, Egypt. And Boris Johnson says he's a great advisor, so he saved him. I don't give a fuck if he's a great advisor, the best advisor of all time, an alright advisor, or a crap advisor. I could not give the smallest bit of a fuck. I couldn't give the slightest doodle, cranky, stanky, Yankee doodle shite in the world. It's about the fact that he is the person in the limelight, he's setting an example for everyone, and the example he's setting is a really bad one. Just get a fucking grip on yourself, Boris. You should be running the country. Which, I hate to break it to you, on the off chance you're watching this video. You're probably not, but you might be. If you are, you're doing a shit job at running this country. I have to get this out there. I have to tell you, you're doing a terrible job. And then, 3 people in the government tweeted, I'll put their sort of tweets on screen after I go through Dominic Cummings' defence. I'll go through just a little clip of it, like a sentence of it. It's because it isn't good at all. So he said, I went 260 miles to Durham to save my son and to test my eyesight. Well, and he also said, I went around Durham and around Barnard Castle to test my eyesight in case I have COVID-19. Now, there are so many red flags in that. A lot of it makes no sense. Because I think I said earlier, I made my point pretty clear that he's just bullshitting us, just trying to cover up his mistake. He knows he fucked up. He's just playing Boris Johnson for a fool, which he clearly is. So first red flag, he should have just looked at a bunch of letters or done an eye test. It would have been a lot easier. He didn't have to leave his house or just walked around your neighbourhood to be safer or driven around your neighbourhood. It doesn't take long. And plus, the government are so frenzy about global warming. And guess what? Putting so much pollution in the air by driving almost 500 miles is causing a lot of pollution. He's seemingly blind to it all, or he just doesn't give a shit. To be fair, a lot of the government don't give a shit about anyone apart from themselves, so I ain't surprised about that. But come on, Dominic Cummings, we're not mugs. We know that you're just bullshitting us. We really are not mugs. And Matt Hancock said he was right today to set out in full detail how he made his decisions. No, he fucking wasn't. He's just a lying cunt who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. A lot of what he says makes no sense. I'm not going to go through a lot of what he said because it's just too long and just makes no sense at all. But he just said he made his decision by, again, what I said a minute ago. And again, it's complete bullshit. We know what he did it for. He just doesn't give a shit about anyone. And he's just a pompous little fuck. And Dominic Raab, the little simp, the foreign secretary simp, I call him, he's a little arsehole as well. He said he gave a detailed account of his actions and how he followed the rules. Well, first off, he did not follow the rules at all, which is why we've had this massive outcry of anger, because he did not in the slightest bit follow the rules. So that's complete bullshit, Dominic Raab. Again, we're not mugs, Dominic, or other Dominic. That might be why you're defending him, because you're name buddies. Or because you're just a little cretin who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Like when Boris Johnson was having COVID-19 in hospital, Dominic Raab took over for a few weeks, and he somehow was even worse at handling it than Boris was. Which does not surprise me. Because it's the UK government. They always find a way to do worse at something than they did before, which was bad. And Rishi Sunak said, I do believe he explained himself. Yeah, he explained badly. And in a way that makes no sense. And he explained with, well, complete bullshit, basically. We are not mugs at all, Dominic Raab, Dominic Cummings, Matt Hancock and Rishi Sunak. And last of all, it just completely undermines the public health advice given by the Chief Medical Officer and the government. It completely undermines it, and I bet he's with his family now having a drink like, I managed to slide this one by Boris Johnson, the little simp. Yeah, brain dead Boris, I managed to sneak it past. Yeah, because he doesn't know what the fuck to do. Yeah, he's just so stupid. I can walk all over him, which I've done. So Boris, you need to take tougher action than that. It's not good enough, mate. It really is not good enough. You need to take more action and stop being such a laissez-faire style person, which from history you'll know is let it be, basically, in French, which is basically the term is, it's not in my control, I can't do anything, I'm powerless to stop it, ignore it, don't do anything. Which is completely rubbish, that mindset. And anyone who has that mindset, curse you, shame on you. I really hate a lot of let it be style people. But yeah, I think that's enough for this rant, I'm heated enough. And I forgot one more point. So yeah, not yet. it went out of my head and I just remembered. But in his first speech as Prime Minister last July, Boris said, "The people are our bosses." So he means the people are the government's bosses. And the people, on an online poll, 81% said they have no sympathy for Dominic Cummings and that he should be fired. 81%. And if majority of people who are the government's bosses who say he should be fired, fucking fire him. What part of that does not make sense? So clearly Boris Johnson doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's talking total flannel, as always. So yeah, and that is it now. That was the last point which I just forgot before the video. But yeah, I forgot to write it down. But that's it for this rant now. Rant over. I'm heated enough. And yeah, drop a like if you agree with me that Dominic Cummings should have resigned or should have been sacked. Drop a dislike if you have sympathy for him and you disagree with me and that he should have been saved. So yeah, that is it for this video, and I want to see your opinions. And yeah, peace out.